exhilarating sports talk coming up next on The Doug Stewart Show in about 2 minutes. Stay tuned. We're about to have some fun. That's right, sports talk, guy talk, right here on The Doug Stewart Show. Show coming up in about a minute and a half. Hold on. You have entered a no puppet zone. That's right, no puppetry around here. The Doug Stewart Show coming up in about 1 minute. The realest, treeless, most unfiltered sports and guy talk show in America. The Doug Stewart Show coming up in about 30 seconds. Yes!
Play this record as frequently as possible.
The Doug Stewart Show
is the best in the world as far as I'm concerned.
This is sports talk for the people. The Doug Stewart Show. It's like the tail wagging the dog. They create the narrative. Don't believe it. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Or are you not entertained? This is sports talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce. The Doug Stewart Show. Yeah! What's happening? Welcome to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Tribute Tuesday. And oh boy, we got a lot of great things we're going to get to today, as we do every single day, man. Thank you for joining your boy. Good morning. Hope you had a good weekend, man. Hope you had a good MLK Day. I did. But welcome back to the show. Bring it back one more time, Cassidy. Yes, sir. Let's get it going, baby. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Feeling real good, baby. Feeling real good. How about you? Feeling good. Feeling great. How about you? All right. Shouts out to all of the Stewies, everybody already in the chat room. Happy Tuesday to you. First show of the week. Obviously, we didn't do a show this past Monday for MLK Day. And so hope you had a good MLK Day. Hope you remembered the man and what he stood for and what he meant to this country. So we're back and we're ready to talk about these sports, man. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, man, thank you for tuning in. What took you so long? What took you so long to find us? We've been doing this show for well over a year. Over 10,000 followers to the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Over 400,000 listens to the show and to the network as well. Yes, sir. Yeah, so what took you so long? It doesn't matter. You're here now. A couple things you need to do if you're tuned in for the first time is you need to go to Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com. Find the Doug Stewart Show. Just search the Doug Stewart Show in the little search bar up there. Find the Doug Stewart Show. Follow the show. Hit the little follow button so whenever the show goes live, you will be alerted. And then you need to hit the chat bubble, man, and jump into the chat room and join in with the greatest chat room in this country's history. And I did say this country's history. I call it the fantasy island of sports and guy chat. And its inhabitants are the Stewies. Good morning to the Stewies out there. And, man, we got a great people that chat. And I read a lot of your chat on the show. We talk about birthdays. We do top fives. I haven't done a top five in a long time, probably because we got so much football to talk about. But I do top fives. I do chat. We do a lot of things around here, man, to have a lot of fun. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We talk about sports, barbershop style. We have a good time for 2 hours, Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so what we got lined up for you today? Today, and I haven't sung for the listeners what you didn't know. I actually sing too. I sing and I rap. Shut up! Shut it up! I actually sing and I rap. Just ignore the studio audience. We're going to get rid of them anyway. I actually sing and I rap for the listeners to the Doug Stewart Show, the Stewies. I haven't done it in a while because I've been so busy, man. Kind of shorthanded as far as staff as well. So I haven't been able to prepare and sing for the Stewies like I normally do. But what we'll do today, man, is we'll play one of my classics. There you go, studio audience. We'll replay one of my classic hits, renditions of a classic song. We'll play one of those. We'll do birthdays. And also, man, today, airing for the first time on the Doug Stewart Show. Now, if you're new to the network, once again, it's a network. And so not only do we have the Doug Stewart Show, and this is the home of the Doug Stewart Show, Stewart Media and Entertainment, but we also broadcast other shows. And so we got the Poe Politicking Show that's about to come back here pretty soon, who hadn't been on the network for a couple of weeks. We got the Kicking It with Kesey show. We got the Grizz. And today, man, they're not going to start in full this month, but in February, we're going to start airing episodes of the podcast, The Sports Brothers. That's right, my man Freeman and Fox from Miami. They're going to be starting with the network in February. That's the plan right now. But today, we're going to play one of their podcasts with an interview that they did with Jason Whitlock. Yeah. That Jason Whitlock. So you know Jason Whitlock, he's Jason Whitlock, and he does and says what Jason Whitlocks do. And so my man Freeman and Fox, man, host of the Sports Brothers, had an interview with him. And so at the end of the day, we've got technically bonus stew, but no, it's actually their own show. So we're going to play an episode of the Freeman and Fox Show, the Sports Brothers, today at 12 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Stewart Media Entertainment Network. We're actually going to talk to my man Jeff Fox around the end of the show today. He'll kind of, give us a little preview of what they're going to talk to Jason Whitlock about today on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, all right? You can call the show old school style, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But once again, the easy way to be totally interactive is just to jump into the chat room on Spreaker, and I read a lot of your chat. So I told you before I left last week that my daughter had this big track meet on Sunday, and I was going to be there all day long, and I was going to set the DVR to watch the games. And I told you how serious this track life is, okay? And y'all didn't believe me. This is no lie. We left our house, okay? We left our house at 6:30 in the morning. We didn't get back to our house until 11:30 that night. Yes, sir. Baby girl did fantastic. As a matter of fact, I actually took a couple of videos. She ran the, I think it's the 60-meter hurdles. She ran the 60-meter dash, and she also ran the 200. She killed in the 200 and in the 60. It's the first time she ever ran the hurdles, so she did pretty good. She didn't medal in any of them, but she did very good. That's another thing. They got her in this age bracket, running with 13 and 14-year-olds. She's actually 12, but she turns 13 this year. And so it's a long story. Again, I don't even want to get into it. But anyway, so she did fantastic this weekend. The good thing that came out of this Sunday is that her last race, her second race was at about 11:30. She didn't run again. And this is no lie. This is why, this track life is crazy. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. She ran the 60-meter hurdles first, and then she ran the 60. When she ran the 60, it was like at 11:30 a.m. She didn't run again until 7 o'clock in the evening. But when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. So I was able to watch all of the football games in the lobby of the track. It was an indoor track meet. And so I was able to actually watch all of the games. And saw the big games this past weekend, man, which were great. Were phenomenal games, man, on Sunday. And so we're going to get into all of that, man, and your thoughts on the Panthers handling their business, the Arizona Cardinals holding on, the Denver Broncos doing what they did and what they needed to do. So we'll get into all the football action. We'll talk a little bit about what happened last night with the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Somebody got their ass kicked last night. Now listen, I am not a LeBron hater anymore. I was a LeBron hater for many, many years, and I had my reasons. I am back to being a fan of LeBron James. But let me tell you this right now, and really this could be the whole conversation about Golden State and Cleveland last night. And I'm not the Lone Ranger. You've heard this probably this morning already, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Somebody got their ass kicked last night. And it wasn't the world champs. Yeah. So all of you bandwagon of LeBron fans, man, rest assured, this is going to be another year where LeBron, a.k.a. the King, is not going to win a ring. I mean, I don't care what they do. I don't care what kind of trade they make. I don't care who they cut. I don't care if they bring up the bench. That Cleveland Cavalier team cannot beat that Golden State team in a 7-game series. They can't. Now, it's just one game. It's the NBA, and things like this happen. I get it. You don't want to go too far over to the right as far as your opinion on, one game in the NBA. But in this particular case, I can. Because them Golden State Warriors, they play like they got a chip on their shoulder. And they're dominating. Okay? They're vying for the world or the record as far as wins in an NBA season by the Chicago Bulls back in, 1995, I believe, 72 wins. And they came out last night away on Cleveland's floor and kicked their ass. Baller award on a Tuesday to the Golden State Warriors. An ass kicking of epic proportion. Yes, sir. So if you want to talk about that, man, today is a Tuesday, so because we weren't on yesterday, today we are accepting all of your ballers and your busters, okay? Some people call them game balls and ghosts. We call them balls and busters around here, man. Did you listen to the return of the Two Live Stews this past Saturday? If you listened to it live, you heard that we had some technical difficulty. We actually did the show, but y'all didn't hear it, half of it at least. After today's show, after we're done with Freeman and Fox, the Sports Brothers, at 12 p.m., go online to Stewart Media and Entertainment and check out this past weekend's the full episode of the return of the Two Live Stews. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we'll jump into this NFL action. Sports talk with hot sauce, Texas Pete hot sauce. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. The Doug Stewart Show is brought to you by ID Life. What is ID Life? ID Life is individualized nutrition with a kid's line of nutritional products, sleep, skincare products, shakes, energy chews, energy drinks. If you want to get more information about ID Life, man, and get healthy in 2016, go to the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. Once again, that's the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Ballas, Bustas on a Tuesday. Obviously, yesterday we were on vacation and took the day off to remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, sir. And so the big stories of the weekend were the NFL's divisional games. The Carolina Panthers held on, and I do mean held on, and I'm going to talk about that more in a second, against the Seattle Seahawks, 31-24. The Panthers are winners of 12 straight games at home. They built that big 31-0 lead in the first half. Incredible first half, like a dominating first half. Marshawn Lynch, who came back to play in this game for the first time in a long, long time, finished with 20 yards on 6 carries. His very first play of the game was nailed in the backfield for a 3-yard loss. That kind of turned the tide. There were a couple of big plays in this game. That was one. That kind of was like, to let the Seattle Seahawks know that this is going to be a long day if you plan to run the ball with Marshawn Lynch. That ain't happening. The very first play by Stewart, he reeled off like a 40, 50-yard run. And then the big play, the interception return for a touchdown by Luke Kuechly was a huge play all in this game. Russell Wilson sacked 5 times, made some pretty big throws in the second half. He went 31 for 48 for 366 yards, but the early turnovers actually obviously killed them. So a big game for Carolina and basically making a statement. Everybody was talking about, are they going to be rusty? You know, with that week off, there's always that question when you have that bye on, is the team going to come back rusty or are they going to come back refreshed? And I think the Carolina Panthers answered that question as they clearly came back refreshed and held on. Now, the second half, the Seattle Seahawks obviously put on a tremendous run. Now, a lot of people are saying, and I saw somebody in the chat room mention the Buster Award. My man Fel Pay says a Buster Award to the second half Carolina Panthers. I kind of don't look at it like that. I mean, what you want as a team, if you're a fan of a team, you want to see your team put a foot on somebody's throat. Once you got them down, you want to see them, absolutely kill them, destroy them. And that's not what happened in the second half of this game. Obviously, 31-24 was the final score of this game. Actually, Seattle had an opportunity with an onside kick that Thomas Davis, former safety for the Georgia Bulldogs, it always trips me out when I hear Thomas Davis, linebacker, because if you're from Georgia, you remember him as a safety for the Georgia Bulldogs. But the way I kind of look at it is they held on. And subconsciously or consciously, I think that when teams get a huge lead on another team, they pull the reins back. Once again, it could be even subconscious. I think that the play calling is probably a little bit different because in that position, you're just trying to make sure you don't make any big mistakes. So the calls and the plays that a coordinator or an offensive or defensive coordinator would make are probably going to be a lot more safer than in normal situations where the game is close and there's still an opportunity for, the team to win or in a position to make a run at a victory. And so I think that this is probably a good thing. You know how they always talk about when a team is undefeated and it's probably a good thing for them to lose. Remember, they had that whole theme going on for many weeks and talking about Carolina. It's probably better for them to get a loss just to get it out of their systems so that they can continue on in the playoffs. That's a better thing for them psychologically. I never buy into that, but it's kind of like the same thing, or you can look at it in the same way when you're talking about this situation. To me, the fact that they had this tremendous lead and Seattle came back and made a game out of it to the very, very end, that's kind of going to be a lesson to the Carolina Panthers and a lot of these players that, listen, when we get them down, we're really, really got to finish the job. And so this mistake that they made this past weekend, not just the players, the coaches as well, the mistake that they made in letting this team get back into it and kind of taking their foot off the gas, I think is going to serve them well going forward, not just this year in the playoffs, but I think in the future as well. Like Cam Newton and the coaching staff is not going to find themselves in this position again where they're not going to remember what happened in this game and they're not going to address it at that time. So actually, at the end of the day, I don't think that this is a bad thing that they didn't look like the same Carolina Panther team in the first half. If you saw this game, you know that there wasn't a question of who the better team was. Okay? Now, those guys in Seattle, they're champions. They should have won 2 Super Bowls themselves. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. They had a tremendous season. I think they won like 9, maybe 10 games in a row. They had been playing phenomenal. So they're not no punks either. But at the end of the day, if you watch that game, Carolina totally handled the Seattle Seahawks. Second half, some things fell apart. But at the end of the day, you know the Carolina Panthers were the better team. Also, the Arizona Cardinals held on to beat the Green Bay Packers. Baller award to the Cardinals. Baller award to Carson Palmer for getting his first playoff win ever. Larry Fitzgerald, baller award to him. 8 passes, 176 yards. Looking like Larry Fitzgerald from a couple of years ago. Jeff Janis, the big wide receiver who was needed to make big plays for the Green Bay Packers, baller award to him. He had a huge day in catching the Hail Mary touchdown pass from Aaron Rodgers at the end of that game, taking it to overtime. Baller award to him. Baller award to Aaron Rodgers, who didn't have a bad game. He completed 24 of 44 passes for 261 yards, 2 touchdowns. He did have the one costly interception as well. So, and all in all, Arizona gets the win in an incredible ending, man. We were up at the track because there was a ton of people in the lobby, and I'm sure a lot of these cats that were watching this game with me in the lobby at the indoor facility this past weekend are listening to the show right now. Shouts out to my man Rudy. He was a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But just an incredible ending. An incredible ending to that game, man. And I believe that game actually was on Saturday. But an incredible ending to that game with a Hail Mary pass to Janis. He goes underneath the coverage. Patrick Peterson. That's happened twice this year with Green Bay, where the receiver is he's kind of like faded and kind of like played possum a little bit, waited till the pass was up in the air, came underneath, went up higher than the defensive backs just in front of them to come down with the catch. And a tremendous play, an incredible ending. And you know what happened with the coin toss with them and the referee flipping the coin. Bust award to the referee. How the hell you flip a coin and the coin doesn't flip? Never seen that happen before. But you know what? When that happened, and Aaron Rodgers had mentioned to the referee how the coin didn't flip, kind of insinuating that he should do it again, that was wrong. It's come out, the NFL has come out and basically said that's not. And when it happened, when that coin flip happened and it landed and there was this conversation about, the coin didn't flip, I said to myself, is that a rule? Is that actually a rule? We come to find out that actually wasn't a rule, that the coin actually had to flip while it was on the ground. Very strange story. You know what happened? Arizona gets the ball. Carson Palmer breaks containment, throws out a little short pass, but it was to his left, or away from his the direction in which he was running. He was coming from. Hits Larry Fitzgerald. He just runs down the field for like 60 yards, gets tackled on like the 4 or 5 yard line, and he ultimately gets a little shuttle pass to win. And the Arizona Cardinals now travel to Carolina to take on them Panthers this coming weekend. Ball award to both teams, both organizations. And I'm not the only person that's been saying it all year long, but these are the two best teams in the NFC. They have shown to be the two best teams in the NFC all year long. Everybody was talking about, Green Bay and some other teams in the NFC, man, but Arizona has just handled their business all year long and looked fantastic. They deserve this, and you can't say enough about Carolina. 15-1, really had an opportunity to go undefeated this year. I continue to say this all year as well. Carolina has to win 2 games at home, and I don't think people were really talking about that enough. Yeah, Arizona's fantastic, but this is the reason why Carolina went 15-1. This is the reason why you want to lock down home field advantage in the playoffs, is because of this. All Carolina has to do with as fantastic as football as they played all year long, and if you add in at home to that equation as well, all they have to do is win one more game, and they are going to make it to the Super Bowl. Their second Super Bowl in team history. That's all they have to do is win one more game, and I like their chances, man. What are your thoughts on Carolina and Arizona? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. When we get back from the break, let's talk a little bit about the AFC and the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots and what happened with them. We'll continue to take your ballers and your busters. I'm going to read some of your chat. We'll quickly talk about some birthdays and do what we do on the Doug Stewart Show. Keep it locked. Don't go anywhere. Fun coming up on the Doug Stewart Show. Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BV Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bvmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bvmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. Doug Stewart here to tell you about the folks at Strickland Security and one of their new security services. As I've told you before, these guys are your security experts. But what you didn't know is that they also handle security coverage for celebrities and special events here in Atlanta. Due to popular demand, the team at Strickland Security has created Celebrity Night Out Security Transportation Service. Want to impress the wife or girlfriend? Want to make sure your wife or your daughter is safe while out on the town with friends? You need this service. With the Celebrity Night Out service, 2 licensed and trained security professionals in black suits will pick you up in a black SUV and will deliver you and your party to your destination. These trained professionals can either stay by your side during the evening or wait for you outside. With these guys, you can truly relax and enjoy yourself because they're going to ensure your safe return home. Uber is a great service, but let's face it, they don't have your back if something goes wrong. In other words, if something pops off, they gone. So, whether you're planning something special, attending a holiday party, or just looking to have a stress-free night on the town, contact the team at Strickland Security and ask them about the Celebrity Night Out service. Trust me on this one. You will look and feel like a true celebrity or the president and the first lady. Yes, sir. Contact Strickland Security at 800-422-9075 or StricklandSecurity.com. That's StricklandSecurity.com. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Buster Award to whoever cuts Russell Wilson's hair. Somebody need to get that man a line, man. I mean, somebody needs to line that ninja up. I talked about it on my Facebook this weekend. Man, please, man. I love Russell Wilson, but do something about your line, bruh. Yes, sir. Hey, man, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Looking like Ricky Steamboat out there. You ain't no damn Ricky Steamboat, Russell Wilson. Hey, man, we are really, really moving forward, man, and pushing forward to try to grow the network, the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. We have new prices to broadcast your show, to air your show on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Here's the benefit of doing business with us and broadcasting your show on the network. We have over 10,000 followers to the network. And if you're a podcaster, if you have your own podcast, you might think it's easy just to tell people on your Facebook page and your friends to listen to your show, and you know your numbers are going to grow exponentially day after day after day, but it doesn't work like that. Sadly, I found out. Okay? So, that's the benefit of networking and joining a network, is that we help promote each other, we help build each other's brands. If you want to get information, or if you have a show, or if someone you know has a great show, have them email me, or you email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and we'll send you a rate sheet. The rates to air your show on this network are, I mean, they're scary inexpensive. Unexpensive. So email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. We'll send you a rate sheet and details and how it works and what we need to do. And let's get it done. 404-382-0338. You can email me as well at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com, but you can just hit me in the chat. I'll read some of your chat here in a second. Celebrating birthdays today, turning 32 years old is my man Little Scrappy. And I said little, but it's actually Lil. Lil Scrappy, rapper from ATL. I think he's actually from Decatur. So it's a big-ass difference. It's not a big difference to people outside of Atlanta, but from people from Atlanta and from Metro Atlanta, Decatur and Atlanta is a huge, huge difference. But Lil Scrappy is 32 years old today. Happy birthday to him. We actually had him in studio one time with the Two Live Stews many, many years ago. Real cool dude, so happy birthday to him. Celebrating his 45th birthday today is Sean Wayans of the Wayans family. Happy birthday to him. You talk about a show that was funny as hell that a lot of people slept on, the Wayans brothers. Now, the first season, maybe the first season and a half, they were kind of trying to find their way. But after like the first season and a half, man, that show was super, super funny. Your boy Marlon Wayans got his own movie coming out here. I think it's already out. Which I gotta, I always try to go and support black films. Speaking of which, we got to talk about Jada Pinkett Smith and Aunt Viv from the Fresh Prince show. But Sean Wayans turns 45 years old. If they're showing it on one of those the repeats on one of those black stations like BET or TV One or one of those, man, check it out. Real funny show. So happy birthday to him, and also special happy birthday to my boy Chucktown Ron, turning 47 years old today. My ninja couldn't get no bigger. Boy, you getting old. Old school call him Coconut. If you from Charleston, you know him as Coconut. Shout out to my man Coconut, a.k.a. Chucktown Ron. Ron Simmons today on his 47th birthday. Speaking of which, I mentioned how we had Lil Scrappy in studio a couple of years ago. I don't know whether it just aired or they just put it on Netflix, if Netflix just put it on their roster of TV shows and movies. But we actually had the great Paul Mooney in studio. This was probably 7 years ago with the Two Live Stews. And you've heard me talk about it before. Paul Mooney was actually in studio with your boys, and he had been in studio many times before with us, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. But this particular day, they brought cameras in, and they were filming like this documentary, or not like a documentary. They were filming a comedy show, like footage leading up to a comedy show that Paul Mooney was doing in Atlanta. And this particular time, he had always come in studio and been off the chain. Paul Mooney, very controversial in some of his commentary on race and his jokes. And he came in studio this day, man, and he just, there's no other way to put it, but he just let white people just have it. There's no other way to put it. He just let white people just have it. Like he really was feeling some type of way about white people, okay? And so he comes in and he goes off, white man this, white man that, white man F you, white woman, what F you, we had to beep this man out like 100 times. Long story short, they call us in the office, and they reprimand us, man, and I think we might even been on some type of suspension or something, kind of like one of those Michael Jordan suspensions. We were suspended, but we weren't suspended. and so Paul Mooney goes on to great success and dropping DVDs and movies on Netflix, which your boys have a big appearance in there. We're in the very beginning of this Paul Mooney, and I should tell you exactly what it's called. Paul Mooney Uncensored or something like that. But it's on Netflix, and a bunch of people emailed me this past week and say, man, did y'all realize y'all were on this Paul Mooney, comedy show, movie or whatever? And like, yeah, we knew about it, man. Whatever. Paul Mooney is doing big things, and we just surviving. We just surviving. That was like one of the first things that led to the demise of the Two Live Stews. This ninja making movies, and we around here begging. Hey, but it's all good, man. I'm a huge fan of Paul Mooney, and yeah, if you check it out on Netflix, just search Paul Mooney. I forgot the exact title of the comedy show. But Google or search Paul Mooney on Netflix, and you see your boys have a prominent role at the beginning of it and at the very end. And I'm just joking about him going off and us being mad at him. Hey, it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason. I'm a huge fan of Paul Mooney, man. The producer of that show actually is the guy that produced our TV show that we had, Black Men Revealed. His name is Chet Brewster, out of Atlanta. So he actually showed us a little bit of love. Shouts out to my man Chet and to Paul Mooney. And check it out if you get a chance and see your boys, the Two Live Stews. All right, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Let me read a couple of your chat messages before we get into the AFC games from the NFL this past weekend. From RC, he says, I think Arizona will beat Carolina. Larry Fitzgerald won't be denied. Here's the thing about this game this weekend and why I think that, I think that Arizona can definitely win this game, obviously. But the reason why I would kind of lend a lot of credence to what you're saying, RC, is because even though both teams haven't had a lot of success in the playoffs, and especially on this bigger stage, you're talking about the NFC Championship, to me it seems like there's a little bit more veteranism to the Arizona Cardinals than there is to the Carolina Panthers. Carolina, to me, is very, very young. They've got a couple of older players. Thomas Davis is an older player, been around for a long, long time. But, they've got Cam, they've got Luke Kuechly, they've got a bunch of young, prominent players on their team. Arizona has Carson Palmer, they've got Larry Fitzgerald, Patrick Peterson's been around for a while. They've got Dwight Freeney, who's killing fools. You talk about the free agent pickup of the year. Okay, Arizona picking up Dwight Freeney was just incredible for them. So, yeah, I always talk about you got to crawl before you walk. You got to walk before you run as far as winning championships in these sports leagues. I would think if you look at both teams, I would give the slight advantage as far as veteranism to the Arizona Cardinals, man, with some of the players that they have on their team. And this is a lot in a very short time for the Carolina Panthers, and they've got a lot of great years ahead of them with that team they've assembled, with that coaching staff, with Ron Rivera, who I couldn't remember his name last week on Friday's show. So they're going to have their opportunities to win multiple Super Bowls or get to multiple Super Bowls. This might be, one of the last times that Arizona, I believe, if you're looking at their stars and Larry Fitzgerald and those guys, to advance on and win a Super Bowl. And I do believe, I'll say this right now, I do believe that the winner of this Arizona-Carolina game is going to come out of the is going to win the Super Bowl this year. I believe that the winner of this NFC game will be the winner in the Super Bowl this year. They'll be whoever comes from the AFC. From that ninja, the Tyrann Mathieu injury will hurt the Cardinals. I agree with that 100%. Honey Badger got hurt. He was basically the heart and soul of that defense, as small of a guy he is. Honey Badger was the heart and soul of that defense. That's going to come back to hurt them in some way. I do believe that. Not having that dynamic playmaker on the defensive side of the ball. All right, when we get back from the break, we'll talk AFC, what happened this weekend. I'll give you my thoughts on that. We'll give out some Ballas and Bustas. And I saw the finish in the last episode and finished the entire series of Making a Murderer. Man, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. We talked about it on Friday, man, but I finished the series, watched the last 4 episodes, or whatever it was. And you talk about hurting my heart. I don't even know these people. Man. And it hurt me to my heart. We'll talk quickly about that, man. Netflix. You talk about Netflix. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Little new school for you, baby. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Little Chris Brown. Show our versatility. Yeah, yeah, baby. Is you drunk? Is you had enough? Are you here looking for love? Ooh, that boy got bad. The club going crazy. All these chickens, but my eyes on you. Here's your somebody's baby. Yes, sir. If you ain't, girl, what we gon' do? If you ain't gon' need it, baby, give it all up for you right now. We got the club going crazy. All eyes on you. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Dougie Classic. Dougie Classic. Yeah, see, I had been doing a lot of old school tracks, and I decided I'd do something new school just to let the people see that I'm multi-dimensional, man. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Me doing a little bit of Chris Brown from a couple of months ago. You're welcome, Stewies. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Have you heard about the Triple F campaign? It stands for $5 for the flavor. That's right, $5 a month. That's 25 cents a day if you're talking about a month, man. You got that in your seat cushion. We're asking all the Stewies, all the dogs and poodles, man, to donate $5 to the Doug Stewart Show one time a month, man, and help us make our way along, man. Paul Mooney making movies. I'm begging for $5. But it is what it is, man. So go to thedougstewartshow.com. There's a little button, a little tab to the right. You click on that. Click on the donate button and donate $5 just one time a month, man. That's buy your boy a beer. That's equivalent to buying your boy a beer for all of this great fun that you have around here Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. All right? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. But before I get into this AFC, and I know we're almost to the second hour of the show, and I even talked about, Denver and New England winning their games and advancing to the AFC Championship game. Let me say this about this TV show on Netflix, this series called Making a Murderer. Me and my wife just completed watching this thing, man. And I mentioned it last week. I had started watching it, and y'all had been telling me to watch it for many, many weeks. I don't know how long it's been out. And I had mentioned how on social media that this was the most incredible thing that I had ever seen on TV in my life. Now, I've seen a lot of bad things. I've seen a lot of crazy things on TV. But this was just very, very disturbing. And just to give you a nutshell of what it's about this guy in Wisconsin, Manitowoc, Wisconsin, named Steve Avery. And his family is well known around there. They're kind of like the poorest white people in this town. And the town is all white. I mean, it's Wisconsin. I talked about this a couple of months ago. That my mother had made a trip to Green Bay, Wisconsin. She said she was there for like 6 days and didn't see one black person. So like these people are kind of looked down upon in this town. And long story short, he gets convicted for a sexual assault. He beats it. They actually appeal it. They find some blood evidence and they release him from jail. So he's out of jail. But then before he's supposed to get this like big settlement from the town, and maybe from the state of Wisconsin, he's charged with a murder. And once again, this is a true story. This is a documentary, so it's out there. So it's not like it's a spoiler or anything like that. So he gets charged for this murder, and they go through the evidence. They go through the trial for many, many weeks. Long story short, this guy is framed. And like he's not framed in a way like that's very inconspicuous. It's blatant that they are framing this guy. Like it's so blatant in all of the evidence that his lawyers come up with. Like this guy is getting framed. Okay, and I'm not going to tell you the outcome. I won't go that far. But I see my man in the chat room, that ninja. He said, America has made me bitter. I just can't get into a show that has a storyline of a man being falsely accused and he's white. Here's the two things about it, my man Ninja. And we know that's how you feel, brother. I mean, obviously, you've been listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I've been reading your chat and your opinions for, 7-8 years. You've been listening to the Stews. We know how you feel, brother, about race relations in this country, and I get it. To a large degree, I get it. You know I get it, But here's the thing about this, man, and me and my wife and my friends have been talking about this all weekend long, is if you look at how they did this man and how blatant it was, imagine how easy and imagine how often it happens to black people. You understand what I'm saying? And also the other thing I took from this is, as I mentioned when I started talking about this, is in this town, there were no black people, okay? There were no black people to convict. But in this town, him, Steve Avery, and his family are the black people. You understand what I'm saying? They are the black people. They are the ones that you would think and you would see if anybody were to get framed, it would be them. You take them out of the equation to put black people. Okay? That's what I kind of took from this, man. And it's incredible in 2015, the way this man got framed. And yeah, there's been a little bit of conversation, and Nancy Grace has come on and said that there's much more evidence that Netflix didn't show you in the series that proves that this guy was guilty. First of all, in my mind, based on the evidence that I had, there's no way that dude was guilty. But guess what? It's happened before where it seemed like somebody wasn't guilty and they were. So I'm not saying that it's not possible that dude was guilty. But based on circumstantial evidence, based on being innocent until proven guilty, and based on this whole premise of reasonable doubt, there's no way guys should have been convicted. Or there's no way that anybody should have thought, and not telling the end of the story, there's no way that a reasonably intelligent jury could convict this guy. Why this thing should have even went to trial? Like, the case should have been thrown out like 50 times. Literally, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. If you haven't seen this, the case should have been thrown out, or the jury should have saw reasonable doubt at least 50 times, maybe 100 times in watching this thing. It's absolutely incredible, man. You need to see it. It's an eye-opener. If this could happen to this dude, and let's be honest. I made the comparison how in this town they are the black people, but at the end of the day, he's still white. If they could do this to this guy, okay, imagine what's happening every single day in this country to black people, man. It's really an eye-opener. You need to see it. Ninja, I'm telling you, you need to see it just for the reasons that I've talked about right now. But to watch it and to see it happen in front of your eyes, and you look at some of the evidence and they're ignoring the evidence. The judge is ignoring the evidence. The prosecutors are ignoring the evidence. Like, everybody's ignoring the evidence because they are going to put this man in jail. They don't care what. Like, it's almost like they peeing on you and tell you it's raining. Like, me and my wife looked at each other every 5 minutes and like, wait a minute, why aren't they just throwing it out after what we just saw? Or the defense lawyers would make or acknowledge something that happened in the case that didn't make sense or didn't fit to what the prosecution was saying, and they just keep going with the trial. Like the judge would just totally ignore all of the evidence, man. Very, very, very disturbing to see how easy it is. If they want your ass to go to jail, it can happen without a blink of an eye, at the blink of an eye. Like, I'm really, over the last couple of years, and you listen to the Doug Stewart Show, and I know I'm up here preaching or whatnot, but I've had this discussion with my wife, and I'm knocking on wood, that in the last couple of years with the police killing all of these young black kids, man, it really, really frightens me, and I guess that's the best word. It really, really frightens me to get stopped by the police because of what's happened over the last couple of years. Eric Garner, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin, we know all of the names, okay? Freddie Gray, we know all of the names. But to add that onto what I saw and how they said to themselves, you're talking about the authorities, you're talking about the police, the judicial system, that no matter what evidence we have the ability to frame you, to come up with a case where we can put your ass in jail no matter what. You know, and the thing about it is this. America was watching this. This was a big trial. They were talking about this daily on TV, on like the Nancy Graces, the CNNs. This was an ongoing story. I remember the name, but I didn't pay attention to the story. But this was a national story that was on the news every single day. So we as the public got to see it as it was happening. And they still found a way to take this guy to trial. Incredible, man. I mean, it's really an eye-opener, man. At the end of the day, the moral of the story is, if they want to get your ass, and I'm talking about the police, the judicial system, the authorities in general, if they want to get you, there's nothing really you can do. Because this thing was on TV every single day. America was talking about it. So it happened right in front of our eyes. What happens if me and you come under that type of circumstance where the police have it in for you and they want to put you in jail? They feel like they're going to put you in jail no matter what the evidence says, no matter if you're innocent or guilty. They can easily do it. They can easily do it. Believe me on that. If you haven't seen this, believe me on that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Don't go away, the Doug Stewart Show. Sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play, so you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-File, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. Hour number 2 of the Doug Stewart Show, baby. Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. All right, man, I had to get that off my chest, man. I had to get that off my chest. Incredible, man. Just go and see it. And once again, it's a documentary, so you can easily, it's not like I spoiled anything. You can go and see the results of what happened throughout this whole ordeal. That was portrayed in the Netflix series, Making a Murderer. It's very disturbing, man. It's very disturbing. And you know, I see a couple people in the chat room was like, man, this has been going on forever. Yeah, this has been going on forever, but I can't remember. You know, everybody knows this has been going on forever. But I never knew it was going on to this degree. And the thing that's so disturbing is you're actually witnessing it. That's the big difference. Of course this has been going on forever. But, you know, a lot of times people always say, well, you know, I'm innocent or, you know, there's no evidence against me or whatever, and I'm being framed. But it's just I'm trying to stay out of jail, you know. And so a lot of times you don't even believe that whole narrative. But to actually witness it step by step, piece by piece throughout this trial was incredible, man, and it was an incredible eye-opener. This is the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank you so much for joining your boy. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. We are brought to you by ID Life. What is ID Life? ID Life is celebrity spokesmen that believe and invest in the product like Troy Aikman, Shaquille O'Neal, and other reputable athletes and celebrities, man. If you want to get more information about ID Life and its great wellness and nutritional products, go to the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. Once again, that's the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. Also, do you or anyone you know have a great product or a business that they're trying to promote and advertise? You can do that with the Doug Stewart Show and the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. here's some things that we are offering, man. We can interview you on my show, kind of like an infomercial, promote you on our social media, which we have a vast social media. We do voiceovers. We can host or speak at your event. We can play your music on the show. And the big thing that we're doing, I talked about a little bit earlier, man, we are broadcasting other shows on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So if you got a great podcast, a great show, but you don't have listeners, it's not as easy as you think to get people to tune into online radio. Okay, it's not that easy. But if you'd like a built-in audience with over 10,000 followers that we've amassed at the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, man, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com, whether that's you or someone you know. Tell them to email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Let's do some business on whether that's broadcasting your show, doing an interview, promoting your social media, voiceovers, hosting at your event, anything. We do it all right here on SME. Denver Broncos hold on to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 23-16. Denver had to come from behind in a 23-16 win over Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers on a cold-ass Saturday. Denver was down 13-12 with less than 10 minutes left, and cornerback Bradley Roby burned time and time again that day in the game, punched the ball out from Larry Fitzgerald's or from Fitzgerald Toussaint's arms, and teammates DeMarcus Ware recovered the ball at the 35-yard line. Ben Roethlisberger completed 24 of 37 passes for 339 yards. Despite having that sore right shoulder, he had a great game. You know they didn't have Antonio Brown. So the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning, who didn't have a great game, as a matter of fact, if the Denver Broncos, there were stages in that game in the first half, like in the middle of the second quarter, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, that I believe that the Denver Broncos were probably thinking and considering to bringing Brock Osweiler in. But they couldn't do it. They still weren't going to do it, but I knew it probably had entered into their minds. Peyton just doesn't have it anymore, man. Some of the passes that he threw were just way off target. Some of them, he short-hopped them. He actually threw the ball downfield a couple of times, but he overthrew the guy. So really, I don't remember him completing any long passes. I'd say probably over like 25 yards. But he did complete some passes. He made some plays, made some checks at the line that ultimately validated starting Peyton Manning, and they get it done. They beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers going home. They played very, very good for the most part. Martavis Bryant had a great game, 154 yards receiving. You got to remember, Pittsburgh was damn near on their fourth-string running back. And for them to put up as good a fight as they did, ball award to the Pittsburgh Steelers for another solid year. Mike Tomlin, the head coach. But the Denver Broncos, they do advance 23-16. And on the other side of the AFC, if you're new to the show, I'm a New England Patriots hater. Before I talk about the Patriots and them getting this win, let me just throw out this disclaimer. You do need to remember that there's a great chance that the New England Patriots did cheat to win this game this past weekend and have been cheating this year, because history has shown us that they have been cheating historically for the last 15 years or so under Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. That's just something I need to let you know about. But the Patriots do win, beating the Kansas City Chiefs 27-20. Kansas City made this thing into a real game at the end. Rob Gronkowski, Julian Edelman back from injuries. Tom Brady back playing fantastic in the AFC Divisional Championship game. The Patriots are 14-3 all-time in the playoffs at Gillette Stadium. Bill Belichick reached the conference title game for the 10th time, tied with Tom Brady for most all-time. The 5 straight conference titles games ties the 1973-77 Oakland Raiders for the most in NFL history. It's New England's 12th conference title game overall. So what? And they get it done. And so next week, we got the Denver Broncos hosting the New England Patriots. I think and I hope the fact that Denver is home, that they'll be able to eke out a win, and you'll have Denver and the Carolina Panthers in the Super Bowl, man. I think that would be a great Super Bowl. Please, please, football gods, please don't let the Patriots win, please. Tired of them cheating Mickey Fickies, but they get it done. Denver and New England. You got Carolina and the Arizona Cardinals next week. Going to be a great weekend of football. Going to be a tremendous weekend of football. What are your thoughts, man? Who do you think is going to advance to the Super Bowl? As well as who do you think are going to be the players of the games coming up this weekend in the NFL? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. From Grego, he says, why is everyone playing the Kobe Teller and the Shaq role, calling out cheaters when you cheat yourself? I don't know where that came from. From that ninja, I get that a lot of y'all don't like OJ, but you do know he was wrongly convicted, right? From the 47th problem, so the Chiefs say they had headphone issues during the game this weekend. Yeah, once again, New England being New England. Studio audience tired of that ish they be pulling too. So you would think of all the accusations made against the New England Patriots that they would fix, that the NFL would address these headset issues. How can it continue to happen over and over again? You know, maybe it happened once, maybe it happens twice, but it shouldn't happen a third time. You know, it shouldn't happen a third time. It shouldn't happen a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth time. But that's the New England Patriots. From D. Finley, he says, thanks, Ninja. I'm only asking you to watch. We all know that blacks are unfairly sentenced to prison. As Doug said, if the justice system does this to a white guy, then of course they are doing it to us all. And justice is truly blind. 100% agree with that. From Grego, why is everyone playing the Kobe telling on Shaq role, calling out cheaters when you cheat yourself? I actually just read that one already. From Jesse the Truck, if you can get away with killing a white woman, you start believing you can get away with anything. And that's where the OJ conversation, I guess, came from. From Lavelle Maestro Love, the Patriots are the best cheaters in the world. Laugh out loud. They are. Baller award, I guess, in some kind of way to the Patriots being the best cheaters in the world. Yeah. From Vince Wright, Grego's team is filled with cheaters. From Jarvis J, OJ got the biggest Negro wake-up call ever. From Loose Neck, No Today Sigh, Orenthal thought once he got over he could continue to mingle and live the same lifestyle, playing golf and being on public with his snowflake girlfriends, and they think wasn't coming for him. Talked about this on First Take. There's actually a clip on YouTube of me talking about O.J. Simpson one day when something had happened with the juice. Now, once again, another disclaimer. O.J. Simpson is my favorite football player of all time. So you know how I felt about him throughout this trial, all of the real flaky evidence against him. I didn't have a problem at all with him being not convicted of that murder. Okay? I'm on record for that. But when he got in trouble and when he went back to jail for basically assaulting the dude for trying to get back his Heisman Trophy and all of his memorabilia that was supposedly taken from him, I was done with OJ, man, because you got to be the stupidest ninja in the history of the world. Whether you did it or not, you beat a murder rap, and not just a murder rap that was watched by the world. You beat a murder rap, and you didn't stay, quote, unquote, under the radar. I was done with him after that. You did it to yourself, bruh. Like, if somebody were to steal my stuff, and I know it's a pride thing, it's my stuff, but you go through the authorities, especially looking at OJ in his scenario, you know, and the variables that have occurred in his life over the last 20 years. You tell the police can't do nothing about it. You just got to chalk it up as an L, bruh. You got to chalk it up as an L. You can't rush up into somebody's hotel room, quote, unquote, with guns drawn, talking about give me back my stuff, and your name is O.J. Simpson? Nah, man. I mean, it's but so much, and I'm very loyal. It's but so much and so long I'm going to ride with you. But when you do something that's clearly stupid, you know, if my grandmother were here, she said that he has to have been on drugs. Because you don't do anything to bring attention to yourself by the police if your name is O.J. Simpson. You have to have been on drugs. I talked about, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I talked about making a murderer, man. I'm really, really becoming a Netflix fan because I'm able to go back and watch a lot of these series that people have been talking about. And I've been able to check out a lot of good series because of their ratings. When I get back from the break, I'm going to tell you about a TV show that I know y'all are sleeping on because I slept on it too. But y'all need to give this a chance. I'll tell you about that. We'll get into some more sports talk. Shaq just spoiling his churn left and right. I wish I was Shaq's kid. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BV Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt. Specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975 and work it out.
If you're not stewing, what the hell are you doing? This is the Doug Stewart Show. Don't forget, at 12 p.m. Eastern Time today, right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, we're going to play an episode of The Sports Brothers. That's right, my man Freeman and Fox, coming out of Miami. Probably going to be a new show on the network starting like in February, maybe a little bit sooner than that. But today's episode, man, they actually interviewed Jason Whitlock. And very interesting stuff, though. Very interesting stuff. So make sure you stay tuned as we air the first ever episode of the Sports Brothers, a.k.a. Freeman and Fox, on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network today. All right? Stay tuned for that. So you don't even have to log off or anything like that. Just keep your stream going if you're sitting at your desk or whatever and you got your phone with you. Take it with you if you go to get lunch or something like that. And check out the interview with the Sports Brothers with Jason Whitlock today at 12 noon Eastern Time right here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. This segment is brought to you by my folks from Strickland Security. Strickland Security, man, some of the best in the business, man. They've been in business, have a combined experience in the business for over 55 years. They can install a basic alarm system in your house starting at just $15. They can fix your alarm system with which a lot of companies don't like to do. Or they can give you the alarm system with all the bells and whistles with cameras and whatnot. So check out my folks online at StricklandSecurity.com. That's StricklandSecurity.com. They also offer the Celebrity Night Out service where they'll come pick you up in a black SUV. Guys dressed in black. One of them will be strapped with a piece and take you out in the town and protect you like, you're the president or the first lady. So check out my folks online at StricklandSecurity.com. That's StricklandSecurity.com, and tell them that the Doug Stewart Show sent you. Last night, the Golden State Warriors put foot all in the ass of the Cleveland Cavaliers, beating them 132-98. Golden State has beaten Cleveland 5 games straight. It has a 38-4 record compared to the Cavs' 28-11 mark. The Cavs lost to Golden State and the San Antonio Spurs in a matter of 5 days. They're 0-3 versus the top 2 teams in the West. Steph Curry made 7 3-pointers. His last put the Warriors ahead by 40. That's right, 40 points last night in this game. And I actually had this on as well watching this. Look here, man. Look here. The Golden State Warriors are a problem. It's as simple as that. They are a problem because they play like a well-oiled machine, and no one can figure them out. Because I'm going to tell you what, man, one thing I haven't seen, and I kept saying this to myself last night, is I haven't seen a team just say to themselves, we aren't going to let Steph Curry go to the basket on us. Whereas whoever's checking him out on the perimeter, they guard him real close. Yeah, you can't stay in front of him, but if he beats the man on the perimeter and heads towards the basket, I haven't seen a team consciously say that we're going to knock him on his ass. And we're going to use up all of our fouls. We're going to bring in a guy, the 12th man off the bench, and just accumulate these fouls with Steph Curry and just beat him up. Until you do that, and I haven't seen nobody try to employ that tactic. Until a team does that, I don't think there's a team that's going to beat these guys in 7 games. Now, San Antonio's been playing fantastic. They're still Golden State. They're still bringing back the same squad that they did last year. They're still the younger team. Okay, and so minutes and the fact that they got all these veteran players on the San Antonio Spurs comes into play during the playoffs. They're the best team in basketball, man. Somebody better recognize. Ball award to the Golden State Warriors. And you LeBron fans, you Cavalier fans, thinking this is going to be the year. You got back Kevin Love, you got back Kyrie Irving, and it doesn't matter. And yes, it was just 1 game. In a 7-game series, Cleveland could take these guys to 5 games, maybe 6. But no. Golden State's going to have home court advantage. Once again, how I've been talking about the Carolina Panthers throughout the season. They have home field advantage. They will have home court advantage. Okay? Home court advantage in Golden State, Oracle Arena. I don't care if it's San Antonio in the 7th game going against those cats or whether it's the NBA Finals against the Eastern Conference champions. The Golden State Warriors are the team to beat, man. Ball award to them. I mean, a big-ass ball award to them. You can give me a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. I want to get into the Shaq story in a second, but I teased it before we went to the break. And we were talking TV today. I talked about, Making a Murderer on Netflix. 2 things. One, I am very close. I'm in the process right now to cutting the cord. When I say that, I mean, you've heard this term maybe before. I'm about to get rid of all my damn cable. Don't y'all boo? Cable expensive, man. But these cable companies, man, been pimping me, obviously, for many, many, many years. Okay? And I'm about to cut the cord. I'm about to go full throttle Netflix, Hulu, and all of that stuff, man. Everybody's been telling me to get this Amazon stick or whatever. So I'm going that way. I'm going to keep a basic package just to get ESPN. So we're talking, what's that, probably like $40 a month. And my cable, and my internet at my house. But I'm about to get rid of all this stuff, man. I just realized it. My boy just said it to me the other day. He made a very good point. He was like, man, you got 900 channels. How many of them damn channels you watch? And I thought about it. And I says, I watch about 6 of them. Right. 90% of the time I'm watching, ESPN, or I'm watching Fox Sports. I'm watching the games. I watch HBO. I watch Showtime. I watch, every once in a while I watch the little, I watch BT, TV One, the black people channels and whatnot. I watch them. And then I also watch the major networks, ABC, CBS, and NBC. So that's about 9-10 channels. So, yeah, I'm about to do that, man. I'm about to cut the cord and save myself $100 or so a month in doing that. And the other part of this whole TV conversation, this Netflix conversation, we talked a lot about Netflix today. Making a Murderer. Paul Mooney's got a comedy special on. But I've been watching the TV show on Netflix, man, The Flash. When I tell you this is a very, very good show, it is. Baller Award to The Flash. Now, listen. I know you're saying to yourself, if you're a comic book head, if you're a guy that grew up on the comic books and you watch Flash and you watch, you knew what DC comics were and Marvel comics were, you were like, serious, Doug? The Flash? When I first saw them starting to promote this show, and I think it's on the CW, I said to myself, that looks real, real cheesy. That looks like crap. I'm not going to watch it. So I didn't watch it. Somebody and a couple people kept telling me to go and watch it. The show is very, very good. Now, if you're used to watching Marvel movies, okay, obviously the fact that it's Marvel and that it's a movie, this series isn't as gritty as those types of movies that you can see in the theater. One, because it's DC, and two, because it's a movie, and so they have many more liberties than they do on, in effect, network TV. So there are some parts of it that's kind of comic booky, kind of cheesy, but it's very, very small. Great storyline, great writing, great acting. Check out The Flash. If you haven't, check, and especially if you grew up and you knew the story of The Flash. And they've tried to do The Flash many, many times on TV before, and it was always real, real weak. I think they got it right. And so I finished watching that series this past weekend as well. Stayed up late in the night watching both these series, Making a Murderer and The Flash. So I actually finished watching The Flash. I've been watching over the last couple of weeks. And I just started yesterday evening watching Arrow, which is the story of the Green Arrow, which is pretty good. It's got like 5 stars rated on Netflix as well. So your boy always puts you up on good TV and good movies. Check out The Flash, man. Trust me on this. Just trust me on this. Well done, well put together. Yes, sir. Ball award to The Flash and his writers. All right, when we get back from the break, I'm going to read some of your chat. And, man, it must be good to be Shaq's kid. I'll tell you more about that. And the Green Bay Packers have made, giving one of their players an ultimatum. Y'all been talking about it in the chat room for a while. We'll talk more about it today. Eddie Lacy is on the clock. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
National Debt Relief is one of the country's largest and most reputable debt settlement companies, made up of energetic individuals who are passionate about helping thousands of Americans with debt relief. Most importantly, we're all about helping our customers through a tough financial time in their lives with education and individual customer service. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families rid their lives of burdensome debt, specializing in debt settlement, and they've also negotiated settlements for thousands of creditor and collection accounts. Providing clients with both expertise and proven results, this means helping customers in time of hardship to get out of debt with the least possible cost. It can also mean conducting financial consultations, educating the customer, and recommending the appropriate solution. Core Services offer debt settlement as an alternative. I repeat, alternative to bankruptcy, credit counseling, and debt consolidation. National Debt Relief is your #1 advocate group to help you reestablish financial stability as quickly as possible. So give us a call at 844-828-4975. Again, that's 844-828-4975, and work it out.
Do you have your own radio show? Are you an artist or a DJ? BB Mobile Apps is the solution for you. They specialize in creating mobile apps for entertainers. That's right. You can have your own mobile app where your followers can hear your shows or music, watch your videos, and view all your social networks in one place. You can even make money with banner ads and send push notifications directly to your audience to make sure they get your messages. Everyone has their phones on them, right? A mobile app will add credibility to your brand because your content will be accessible to them while they're on the go. BB Mobile Apps also makes apps for bloggers, actors, and producers. The process only takes about 20 minutes. Just go to bbmobileapps.com and click Get Started Now. That's bbmobileapps.com and tell them the Doug Stewart Show sent you.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Tribute Tuesday. We actually didn't do the tribute side of the show today. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, Tribute Tuesday, we actually pay homage to a legendary singer, rapper, or what have you. And today we didn't because we just didn't have time. We just didn't have time, man. I was away from the house a lot this weekend, being gone a whole straight 12 hours. Not 12 hours, what, 18 hours. No lie, we left the house 6:30 Sunday morning and didn't get back home till 11:30 that night from this track meeting in Birmingham, Alabama. Baby girl did good, though. I'll actually post some of those the videos of her running. She actually won her heat in one of her races in the 200. I think the 200 is her race because she actually catches people. She ran the 60 meters. She came in second in her heat in the 60. You notice I keep talking about the heat, so she didn't medal. She didn't get any medals this weekend, but she did fantastic. Increased her or dropped her time in the 200 like two seconds, 2 whole seconds. And so she's doing great, man. Ball award to the LOP. Mike McCarthy says Eddie's got a lot of work to do. He says, I'm stating the obvious this season. Last year was not what it should be, and he never recovered from it. His offseason wasn't. He cannot play at the weight he did this year. You remember he ripped off that like 61-yard run this past weekend, and he just ran out of gas. Now, he's always been a big guy. We talk about Eddie Lacy, running back for the Green Bay Packers. He's always been a big guy, and you don't expect him to walk away from people like that, but it literally looked like that he ran out of gas. He couldn't just go anymore. It's almost like he just let the dude tackle him because he knew he couldn't get away. Y'all been talking about it a lot in the chat room about Eddie Lacy is out of shape and whatnot. He's not a good NFL back. Eddie Lacy is a good NFL back, but clearly he ate too much damn ribs over the summer. He had a career low in attempts, yards, and touchdowns this past season, so he's going to have to figure some things out in the offseason as well. And one other story I wanted to talk about, y'all heard about Shaq and what he bought his kid for his birthday? Shaquille O'Neal recently threw in a 16-year-old birthday party for his son Sharif, which reportedly included 400 guests, a performance from rapper Post Malone, who I don't know who the hell Post Malone is, and he had a big-ass candy bar. Shaq is doing very well. And also, he bought the dude 2 gifts, one being a Jeep and the other one being a Lamborghini. Praise his holy name. You can do that, Shaq. There's a catch, though, Shaq told his son, is before you're able to drive these cars, he don't even have his license yet. The kid doesn't even have his license yet. Before you can drive these cars, you need to get straight A's. Right. So the kid doesn't have a license yet, but you got this pretty Lamborghini and a Jeep sitting in the driveway. You can't drive them till you get straight A's. So the kid's got like a B average right now across the board in all of his classes. That's a good incentive, man. But what if the kid doesn't get all A's? What if the kid gets like all A's and 1 B? Are you not going to, are you going to go back on your word and let him drive these cars? Like, I always wondered if I was super, super rich like that, would I buy my kids those lavish types of gifts? Knowing that I never had anything like that in my life. And you want your kids to appreciate things. And you know what? If you're a kid and you're able to do it as a parent, and if you're a kid, would you even, do you think that you deserve a Lamborghini at 16 years old? I don't know if I was a gazillionaire, would I buy my 16-year-old kid a Lamborghini? I don't know. I guess I have to be in their shoes to understand where they're coming from, man. But, yeah, you talk about somebody go study their ass off this semester. Sharif definitely going to get all A's coming up this semester, man. And also, one last story before I jump to some of your chat here on the Doug Stewart Show. Y'all heard about the Carolina Panthers, the organization in effect, trolling your boy Russell Wilson with all of this Future stuff this past weekend, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. It started on Sunday morning when Future, who in September collaborated with Drake to release What a Time to Be Alive, rolled out his latest effort, a 13-track mixtape titled Purple Rain, and they spell rain, R-E-I-G-N. The timing could have been purely coincidental, but maybe it wasn't, that the Carolina Panthers took on the Seattle Seahawks in Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend. During the pregame warm-ups, the Panthers' in-house DJ stoked the fire playing several Future songs as the Seahawks, including Wilson, got loose on the field. Then, just for good measure, defensive back Trey Boston trolled Wilson even further, bursting out a dance from Future's video for his song, Where You At, after a second quarter sack of the Seahawks quarterback. Good for the Carolina Panthers. Ball award to them. Damn right, troll is no line getting ass. And it's crazy for me to say all of this stuff because I'm actually a big fan of Russell Wilson, man, but I'm an even bigger fan of the Carolina Panthers, especially this week, now that the Falcons are in the playoffs. My home state, Carolina, the Panthers, I'm a bigger fan of them. So ball award to them, man. And a bust award to that chick. Some other chick wrote this scathing letter towards Cam Newton talking about his celebrations. Cam, if you saw the video, and I'm sure you've heard about this and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, Cam Newton congratulating, high-fiving everybody in the stadium in Charlotte this weekend at Panther Stadium. And somebody hands him, first of all, Cam didn't rip it off a wall or anything like that. Someone hands him the 12th man banner that some Seahawks fans were displaying out there. Cam takes it, balls it up, and throws it. And some Seahawk fan writes this letter. I don't know if it's a letter or just maybe a post on the website or something like that, talking about Cam not showing class and respecting the 12th man. Man, damn the 12th man. These people really, they really getting on my nerve with this bashing of Cam Newton. I mean, the man gives footballs to little children all over the world. He's like the football Santa Claus. Just let that man celebrate. Just because you don't celebrate when you score a touchdown or win a game, that don't mean that man shouldn't. Just stop it. Big ass Buster Award to whoever wrote that letter. Chops. How dare they? That man's happy. They won a game. They're going to the NFC Championship. They're 15-1. I mean, what? He be dabbing on folks. Leave a man alone. The man has a good time. I like when he dabs on folks. Just stop it. Stop it. It seems real personal. One of the real reasons why, or one of the biggest reasons why I'm rooting so much for the Carolina Panthers is because I really want Cam to win a championship so that we can pull back that letter from that dude, that scout, that wrote all of those personal things and thoughts, gave all those personal thoughts about Cam Newton not being a leader and not going to be successful at this level, this, that, and the other. I can't wait for the Carolina Panthers to hold up that Lombardi trophy and then they pull back out that damn letter and post it all over social media and what this dude said. That's why I'm rooting for Cam. That's one of the biggest reasons I'm rooting for Cam. And I always say how, when you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I think the term hater is overused in 2015. It is. But clearly, that's the best term that you could use for that dude and all of the Cam haters when he came out of Auburn, man. And Buster Award to all of y'all. All y'all. Go Cam. Go Carolina. It was personal. It was personal. You mad at that man because he's celebrating? He's not showing up. Like, he's not going in nobody's face. He's not going and running up into the opponent's face and pointing their finger in their face and nothing like that. That man is giving footballs to little children all over the world. How mad can you be at that? Thorny switch. It is personal, Doug. That's right. It is personal. Clearly it's personal. Clearly it's personal, and they got to stop it. Go Cam. Go Carolina. How about that? Just stop it. And y'all so transparent with the hate. You're so transparent with the hate. You see right through y'all ass. See right through you. All right, don't go away. When we get back from the break, man, we'll wrap up today's show. We're also going to talk to my man Jeff Fox before we get out of here, man. Host of the Sports Brothers. Him and my man Freeman and Fox got a big podcast down in South Florida in MIA. And the podcast makes its debut today on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. So we'll talk to my man Jeff Fox for a minute and kind of preview their conversation with Jason Whitlock. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show.
At Ticket Liquidator, we believe you should have access to the experiences you want to be a part of. Since 2003, Ticket Liquidator has been connecting buyers and sellers with the most sought-after and often sold-out events across the country. Ticket Liquidator's nationwide network gives you access to one of the largest online inventories of sports, theater, and concert tickets, with prices lower than most companies in other markets. And our security policies are solid, so you can buy with absolute confidence. More tickets, better service, and lower prices, so you can witness the best entertainment, culture, and sports events worldwide. At Ticket Liquidator, we know that seeing a legend bring down the house or watching your team win the championship is about more than a ticket. It's about being there. For all your sports and entertainment ticket needs, call us at 855-638-3034. Again, that's 855-638-3034.
Fantasy sports fans are winning huge cash prizes every day at DraftKings.com. America's favorite place to play daily fantasy sports. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Just pick your sport and draft your team. It's like a new season every time you play. So, you're never stuck with the same players. Last year, $300 million were won at DraftKings.com, and you could be next to win big. Go to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code STU to play for free. That's STU for free entry now at DraftKings.com. Also, if you use promo code STU, DraftKings will match your initial deposit up to $600. Deposit $600, play with $1,200. DraftKings.com, promo code STU. This is your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and fully encompassed prepaid legal benefits that include identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. The world's heavyweight champion of sports and guy talk radio. This is the Doug Stewart Show. And the Doug Stewart Show is brought to you by ID Life. What is ID Life? It's the future of health and wellness. An industry game changer. If you want to get more information about its health and wellness products, go to the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. That's the DougStewartShow.idlife.com. Joining me right now on the line is my man Jeff Fox from the Sports Brothers in South Florida. MIA, Shawty. Jeff, what up, baby?
What up, Dougie? What's good?
Man, I'm fantastic. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, doing great, man. Had a phenomenal Martin Luther King Day yesterday. Some crazy stuff happened down here. It was entertaining to watch.
Wait a minute. What happened? I mean, tell my listeners what happened in Miami on MLK Day.
And on MLK Day, they had what they call, now they did this last year, they had what they call MLK Bike Ride Out.
Okay.
And basically all it is just a bunch of brothers on motorcycles and what do you call those things, ATVs. They kind of took over the city.
Okay.
There was about 200, maybe 300 of them riding up and down 95 on the turnpike. They just took over and just riding in groups. They were popping wheelies. I mean, it was some of the craziest stuff you ever seen.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like that Rough Rider scene in Philadelphia. Them the Rough Riders with those cats on those big tricycles and motorcycles. They take over the streets, man. It's crazy. So they got that going on in Miami now too, huh?
Yeah, on Martin Luther King Day, and the news reporters, there were certain factions of society that kind of lost their mind just, like, they're taking over.
Right. That's funny. That's funny.
Just hilarious, man.
Talking to Jeff Fox from the Sports Brothers, Jeff Fox and my man Ed Freeman down in South Florida, MIA. What's the station you guys on down there as well sometimes?
Yeah, we're on WQAM 560.
Okay.
Periodically whenever they put us on and need us to come in and do some spot duty or whatever.
Right.
But, we've been there. We've been around. We used to be on 790 The Ticket. And we also do an online show from time to time, which we are in negotiations, to probably, come up in your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Hopefully we make that happen.
Yeah, the Sports Brothers do their own podcast down in South Florida, and today
yes, sir,
we're going to debut their first episode, I guess you'd call it, on Stewart Media and Entertainment. Hopefully we'll have everything set and ready to go for like the beginning of February to have them come on more frequently throughout the week, maybe even possibly daily. I don't know about that. We'll see, but they will become hopefully a part of Stewart Media and Entertainment. So for people that are listening to this show, this is kind of like the first introduction to you guys. give like the background of your show, how long you've been around, and what they're going to hear, the type of sports talk you guys do.
Well, if you love the 2 Live Stews, I think pretty much you love the Sports Brothers because, we're kind of like, I like to think like a spin-off because you guys inspired us, you and Ryan, when Ed and I used to be at another station called WTPS. We carried this news on that station, and we both did updates on that station, and we went to the program director and was like, look, man, we kind of want to do a local show.
Right.
And we just took it from there, man, and ended up at $7.90 the ticket, like I said, and immediately one of our first assignments was Radio Row for the Super Bowl here in Miami, and we've kind of been around. We both have Caribbean backgrounds. Ed's from St. Lucia. Myself, I'm from the Bahamas. And we got fans everywhere, man. The show became very popular. And we're just a couple of guys that do barbershop type sports talk.
Right.
Guy talk, like you like to say. And entertainment. We love our hip-hop, and I like rock and roll, too. We talk movies. We talk what guys want to talk about.
And also, you're a DJ. You're a DJ, too, right? Don't you spin records or something?
We both DJ, as a matter of fact. Ed does more hip-hop. I'm more old school, more grown and sexy.
Uh-huh.
I do a monthly party in the Bahamas, where we play a lot of the old school classics, the Teddy Pendergrass, Miles Shea, and even some of the Rob Bass and, Big Daddy Kane type of era, Eric B. and Rakim, So we cover all genres, man. Sports, hip-hop, entertainment. That's who the Sports Brothers are, man. We're the guys next door.
You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We're talking to Jeff Fox from the Sports Brothers down in South Florida. We'll get to what you guys are talking about in your interview with Jason Whitlock in a second. So wait a minute, bro. I've always wanted to talk with someone from the Bahamas. So you can take a boat ride from Miami to the Bahamas, and it takes like an hour, right, or less?
It takes, now they've got the speedboat, so it takes anywhere like from about 3 hours.
3 hours, okay. So someone told me like an hour. So it's like 3 hours, okay.
But the flight is like, before you read the sports page, you're there.
Right. Right.
You can't even get through the sports page if you're on the flight, man, and it's real close. So I kind of grew up around a lot of Dolphin fans, a lot of Canes fans, because we're kind of an extension of South Florida.
Right.
So all the teams they traditionally love here, they love over there, except I grew up a Raider fan.
All right, yeah. All right, so do you still have people over there in the Bahamas?
Absolutely. My dad's still there. I lost my mom about a year ago.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my dad's still there, brothers, sisters, lots of folks still there,
Why?
What's interesting, Doug?
What?
The kid that's kind of dominating in college basketball right now from Oklahoma, Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is from there.
Okay.
From my hometown.
Okay.
And my brother coached him when he was like 12 years old. We had no idea, bro.
What town are you from in the Bahamas?
Freeport.
Oh, you're from Freeport. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Freeport is like the second city of the country.
Now, do y'all have the same spicy foods that the Jamaican people are known for? The curry and all that stuff?
Curry, chicken, oxtail.
Why y'all make the food so damn hot, man?
Man, that's how we love it. We love it spicy.
I had some
who were born here. Now I know where they get it from. It's they inherited that like for spicy food, that love for spicy food. So,
you know what?
That's how we do it.
Man. I like spicy food, man, but I'm a glutton for punishment. I actually had some jerk chicken like last Friday, and every time I start eating it, I say to myself like 3-4 bites in, like, why the hell did I order this hot-ish? My head breaking out in sweat. Huh?
Have you ever had conch salad?
No. I try to stay away from the shellfish, man. The shell seafood.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, all right. So today we're going to air and premiere for the first time on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network an interview that you and your man Ed did with Jason Whitlock. Now, I am not a fan. I've said that to you guys before. I've talked about him a lot of times. We kind of had like a little run-in at a Super Bowl one year. I can't even remember which Super Bowl it was at. But you know Jason Whitlock. You know how Jason Whitlock is. And so
he likes to throw a little bait out there and get you to go for the
yeah. So I'm not a fan, but talk about the interview that you guys did with him and what the listeners had to look forward to in about 6 minutes here on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network.
Well, as usual, Jason has an affinity for controversy. He seems to love some controversy, and having watched the recent playoff game between the Bengals and the Pittsburgh Steelers, Jason thought that Marvin Lewis and my man Mike Tomlin owed us as football fans an apology, and especially, you know how it is for black head coaches in the NFL. They got a short leash. And,
right. Very short
hard
leash.
enough being a brother in the NFL.
Yeah.
From a coaching perspective. And Jason thought that they didn't do anything to improve the situation for African-American head coaches. He thought the game got out of hand. And so, we questioned him about it. And in the podcast, which I think was a very good conversation, we discussed some of the things that, whether the playing field is a level playing field, which it obviously isn't, but why isn't it a level playing field?
Mm-hmm.
I talked a little bit about the Rooney Rule, and if Marvin Lewis and Mike Tomlin said it back a couple of years or decades with the coaching performance. I'm not going to necessarily say we agree, but I was interested to hear what he had to say. It was based on a column that he wrote for Fox Sports. So that's what initiated the conversation.
That's what's up. All right, so good stuff, man. So we'll be tuning in, man, and checking out my man Freeman and Fox, the Sports Brothers from Miami, man, on their podcast, debuting today for the first time on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network. Hopefully we'll have these guys on many more times starting in February. That's the plan right now. Hey, Jeff, appreciate the time, brother.
Hey, no doubt, man. Appreciate the love. Shout out to everybody over there at the Stewart Media Entertainment Network and the Stewie. That's what's up. All right. So stay tuned. It's coming up next right here on SME, baby. It's coming up on SME, baby. It's coming up on SME. There we go. Damn. Come on, Waterhead. Get it together. See, Waterhead, his head done got bigger. He hung out with me on the show this past Friday, and now you forget when he need to hit the switches or whatever. Hey, man, thank you so much for joining me on the Doug Stewart Show, man. Thank you. Shouts out to all of the Stewies. Without no you, there'd be no me. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, this is how we do it every single day, man. We have a good time. We keeps it real, and we do sports and guy talk like nobody else. Believe that. Shouts out to my man Waterhead Walter, Dwayne Bassan, Gerald Oliveri, the engineers to the show. Thank you. Yes, sir. And once again, thank you to all of the listeners to the Doug Stewart Show, the Stewies. Thank you. All right, email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com if you want to get more information about a promotional interview / infomercial on the Stewart Media and Entertainment Network, whether we can promote you on our social media pages, voiceovers, host or speak at your events, play music, play your music on the show or on the network. And the biggest thing, which you're about to get a little dose of right now with Freeman and Fox, we can broadcast your show on the network. Join the network of SME and let the world know about your show or podcast, all right? All right, coming up next, the Sports Brothers on SME. Don't go away. We'll do it again tomorrow, the Doug Stewart Show. Same Doug Stewart time, same Doug Stewart channel. Peace. Don't go away. Stay.
It's time for the Freeman and Fox podcast with your host, Ed and Jeff. Sit back, relax, and listen to the fellas talk about the hottest issues in sports and sports entertainment. And make sure to follow the brothers on Twitter at the Sports Bros. Now, here's Freeman and Fox.
Welcome to another edition of the Freeman and Fox podcast. Thanks for joining us once again for episode 3 here. E.W. Freeman.
Jeff Fox in the box.
And we're bringing it to you live on the eve of the divisional playoffs of your NFL football. A lot has happened since the last time we talked. Nick Saban has been crowned the king of college football yet again. We've got a coaching hire, of course, here in the Miami Dolphins. And, we've had some firings as well, but a lot has happened. But we want to hit on one particular incident or one particular thing that happened in last week's game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. What a game it was. It had the whole world, the football world, and fans talking the day after because of the way it ended and how the game was pretty much the whole way through.
It's a bloodbath.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I like our guest in the podcast today, Jason Whitlock, joins us here inside Freeman and Fox, the podcast. He called it a old school 1990s inner city football game between LA teams. We'll talk to him about that. Jason Whitlock joins us. You can find him at j.school is the new website, of course, on Fox Sports 1. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
You feeling especially good today now that the Rams are coming back to L.A.?
You know, it's funny. I grew up in Indianapolis. We didn't have the Colts when I was a kid, and so I was a huge Los Angeles Rams fan.
Wow.
Lawrence McCutcheon, the running back James Harris, the quarterback. I think he was, the only black quarterback in the league at that time, and Isaiah Robertson, the middle linebacker, and Jack Youngblood, defensive end. I once, during the summer when we weren't in school, I once wore a Los Angeles Rams Jack Youngblood jersey for 18 straight days. My mother had to beat it off of me.
Wow. And for those that don't know, Jack Youngblood was one bad boy.
Man. So you're happy. So you're cool with these guys with the move and everything coming back, going back to L.A.
Yeah, it's just going to add energy and excitement to a city that's full of energy and excitement. And for, someone like me that loves football, it makes, Inglewood just a short drive for me to get to the stadium and get to the games. And so just makes it easier for me to stay abreast of the National Football League.
Of the other two teams out there that are mentioned to be moving to L.A., San Diego or Oakland, any preference on who you would want to share that stadium with the L.A. Rams?
Either one is fine. The Chargers, to me, make the most sense. But, I'm good either way. You can bring the Raiders back here. We can put the NWA caps back on. And so I'm good either way. More football, the better.
That's it. That's good. More football, the better. Jason Whitlock joins us here at Freeman and Fox podcast. All right, so you've written an article here, and you can find it at j.school. I love that. And by the way, for those who don't know, J-School is a short term for journalism school for those who went to college and went to journalism or went through the major of journalism. You wrote the article. It's called Mike Tomlin, Marvin Lewis Owe Us an Apology. And, of course, this is on the heels of what happened last weekend, a game where Cincinnati, we could say, kind of had it in the bag a little bit. But, hey, when you've got Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin on the other side, you can never, ever sleep. Everybody knows what happens there. We saw a lot of penalties. We saw a lot of bad blood. We saw a lot of penalties that weren't thrown, coaches doing all sorts of uncoached-like things. Tell us, for those who haven't read it, give us where you're coming from. What I guess gave you the fuel to go ahead and say, that Marvin Lewis and Coach Mike Tomlin both owe the league, I guess, or us as football fans an apology.
Well, let's start with, Marvin Lewis is probably my favorite coach in the league. I think he's underrated. I give him the benefit of the doubt for his playoff record because of the circumstances. I think coaching in Cincinnati, Andy Dalton not ascending to the level he needed to get to, just getting to the playoffs as consistently as the Bengals have. I've been really impressed with Marvin Lewis. He has struggled, clearly, with a handful of low-character players that he struggles to control. And then as it relates to Mike Tomlin and the Steelers, I'm a Big Ben fan, and always am rooting for him to get more Super Bowls because I think he's actually the best quarterback of this era, even better than Tom Brady, in my opinion. Again, the accomplishments don't stack up. You can't make that argument. But I root for Big Ben. And I just feel like the Steelers have underachieved, even though they've won a Super Bowl and been to one with Tomlin and Big Ben. But, again, I root for Tomlin and Marvin Lewis. That performance that they put on Saturday, given where the National Football League is with the concussion issue, given where it is with the safety issue, given where it is with all the momentum of people questioning football's place in American society, is it too highly valued? Is this a brutal sport that should not be America's national pastime? Football, by some people, is trying to be pushed into the corner that boxing was. And so if you know all of this is going on, if you know there's all this negative momentum going against football, you can't put on a football game that is that chaotic, I'm going to be politically incorrect, but it looked ghetto, man, and everybody knows it. It looked like the two teams were ready to legitimately try to destroy each other and break out into a Pistons-Pacers brawl. And it was just not the right look for the National Football League. And it's a poor reflection on the head coaches, particularly, in my opinion, Mike Tomlin. His assistant coaches were out of control, from Mike Munchak to Joey Porter. Mm-hmm. Out of control. And Tomlin has a history with this, with his own lack of discipline, interfering with a kick returner and getting fined $100K by the NFL, scraps, arguments, really contentious arguments with opposing players. This guy carries himself like an emotional football player rather than a head coach. And we had security guards on the field before the game. We had fans throwing objects from the stands. We had a linebacker for the Steelers lead with the crown of his head and damn near decapitate Gio Bernard. And then you had Vontaze Burfict doing what Vontaze Burfict does. Yeah. It was a hot mess. And these guys need to be aware of this. And again, we can sit around and pretend like it didn't happen. But if you read what Peter King wrote for Sports Illustrated, if you read what Mike Florio wrote for Pro Football Talk, these guys, King and Florio, I reference them because they are media representatives of the league. They work for NBC and Sunday Night Football. They have direct connects to Roger Goodell and the most powerful people in the National Football League. They're not writing these things. They are about that particular game and why it was a bad look for the NFL if it's not reflective of what ownership and the commissioner's office feel about that game. And so someone needs to shake Mike Tomlin and Marvin Lewis and say, hey, man, this is a bad look for you individually and for other black coaches.
Well, Jason,
go ahead.
Well, let's take a step back first. I mean, evidently there's bad blood between these two teams historically, okay? How much ultimately, how much can you blame or should be blamed blame on the coach? How much blame should be placed on the coach when it comes to those matters that, you know, of course, guys are going to talk smack. I mean, this isn't the Carolina Panthers walking around the field with baseball bats or anything like that, but evidently there's history and there's shady characters on either team that, you know, can help, I guess, build up that history. But how much blame can you really place on the coaches for things that are happening ancillary kind of to the game? I get it when you're talking about in-game, and if it's like third quarter, you know, coaches need to talk to their players and say, hey, you guys need to settle down. You're going to end up losing this game for us, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I'm 48, and, you know, I think everybody on the podcast is old enough who've been watching the league for a couple of decades.
Yep.
The bad history between the Steelers and the Bengals is in the last decade.
Right.
This ain't the Raiders and the Chiefs from the old AFL, all that. This is Tomlin has been with the Steelers, I think, for 9 years, and Marvin Lewis has been with the Bengals for 13 years. This is their history. This is when Tomlin, after the game, says, I think we represented what AFC North football was all about. That's the AFC North that they have created, and it's in Baltimore, too, with John Harbaugh and Ray Lewis when Ray was there. And I'm a huge Ray Lewis fan. I'm not really criticizing him. But, again, they have been playing this very highly personal style of football in the AFC North, where and again, it's just not that time. Things have moved on. It can't be tolerated at this moment. They're trying to conduct business. And I think if you read Peter King's piece, what he said, there's a fine line between, hey, being super competitive and trying to have a physical football game, but not crossing that line where you're actually out there trying to hurt each other. You're just trying to play a good football game. And it looked like these guys were actually out there trying to legitimately do damage to each other. And, again, it goes back to last year when I started this recent history. Le'Veon Bell gets put out by Reggie Nelson and hit to the knee. The Steelers it was a clean hit by Reggie Nelson, in my opinion, but Steelers highly upset about that. If you go look at their regular season games this year, out of hand, hard to control by the officials. If you look at the trash that was being talked over social media leading up to the game, everybody could see this coming, and it was up to those two head coaches to get their teams under control and set a tone. We're not about to embarrass ourselves or the National Football League, and we're going to put on a game that's respectful. And again, what Peter King wrote, I got to give him credit because he hinted at things that are legitimate. He's looking at that game and like, man, these guys, it's just like they're really trying to hurt each other rather than play a good game and just make this money. And I'm watching it as a black man going, man, look at us trying to hurt each other. Instead of play a respectful game and get this money. And it's like, that's why I played the card of, man, this looks like the Bloods and the Crips going at it and neighborhoods going at it and people playing for keeps rather than playing for competition and winning and let's get this money, and at the end of this, we're all family when it's over. That's not what that game looked like, and the NFL just doesn't want it at that time. And me as a black man, I don't want it. I don't want to see that. We see enough of that in the streets. We don't need to see it in the football field.
You know what, Jason? When I watched that game, I was at a party. I didn't know how intense it was because I was actually DJing, but we had the game on a big screen. And my initial thought was, wow, this is a hard-hitting throwback football game. It reminded me of the Steelers and the Raiders from the 70s when the Pittsburgh receivers really wanted to press charges. They wanted to press charges against what they called the criminal element of the Raider backfield. Remember Jack Tatum and those guys? There was some real bad blood between those teams. And when you mentioned the movie Concussion, which I saw, I don't know if you saw it, but if you see that movie, you figure out what's going on in the NFL today. I thought I could see the correlation you were making right there. It was a bad reflection on both teams. And the NFL just doesn't want that.
What they have to understand is throwback jerseys are profitable and popular, but no throwback games are not.
Right.
So they've moved past that era. We don't want to see throwback football. There are idiots like me that grew up playing throwback football. But it's like we've been educated, and the public has been educated that, all right, that's what we did back then, but we don't do that now. We play a different style of football. And so it was an inappropriate look for the National Football League, and it could have ramifications in terms of people questioning. And again, you can say, oh, we shouldn't talk about it out loud, but trust me, people are talking about it in private. See, man, you got black coaches in charge. Look at how out of hand this is. That discussion is being had.
The comparison to the malice at the palace between the Pacers and the Pistons, you talked about the uncomfortability of Boomer Esiason and Tony Gonzalez and who was it, Jim Nance, I think, were calling the game. They were very critical of the play on the field. Then we saw the situation with Lovie Smith and Tampa. Granted, it's not related, but when you look at the fact that we're talking about 3 black head coaches, it's just not a good look. So I can see why you made that comparison about, both coaches letting the game get out of hand or their teams get out of hand. Were you trying to say, Jason, that, it's hard enough for a black coach already? Don't make it even more difficult by allowing this kind of stuff to happen.
Man, we have moved into an era that I'm really uncomfortable with. I think it's really inappropriate, but as African Americans, I don't think we focus enough on the way we used to. Because we used to think about hey, man, I'm out here representing everybody, trying to open doors for everybody. And so let me carry myself in a way that opens doors for the people coming up behind me. And we've now moved to a point where people think, screw that. Just do you. And, anybody that says that's respectability politics and blah, blah, blah. And that's all garbage because other minority groups, that's how they have worked their way out of poverty, by banding together and trying to represent each other and trying to create a pathway for the people coming up behind them. And it's like we think, oh, that's over. We tried that, or we've done enough of that, and we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to worry about who else we're representing. And so, I mean, again, Marvin Lewis is certainly of my era. He's a little bit older, and Mike Tomlin's a little bit younger than me, but they're both old enough to know better and to know that they're standing on other coaches' shoulders, and they need to be making sure that other coaches can stand on their shoulders. I felt like Hugh Jackson was the best assistant coach in the National Football League this year, and here he is, to me, totally 100% ready.
Yeah, I agree.
To be a head coach again, and he just got the Browns job.
Yep.
But the Browns job is probably the worst job in the National Football League.
Yes, it is. It's where coaches go to die.
Yeah, and so, but here he is, the best assistant coach, should have had his pick. Hey, maybe the Giants.
Thank you.
But he somehow he doesn't have his pick, and I'm not blaming Tomlin and Marvin Lewis, but I do sit here and wonder if they had played a classy, super competitive football game on Saturday. Would Hugh Jackson be the Browns coach, or would he be the Giants coach, riding with Eli Manning, the guy with 2 Super Bowls? Would he have got the same hookup that Mike Tomlin got, getting to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger in his prime, rather than going to the Browns, who are being run by analytics people that don't know anything about football, have no QB, and coaches go there to die?
Jason Whitlock on with us here on Freeman Fox, the podcast. I think the juxtaposition, think about this. Fox and I did a podcast earlier this week or last week where we talked about the Rooney Rule, which we always do around this time of year, actually on Black Monday or Black Tuesday, however you want to call it. And we talked about, just in general, how African Americans, whether it's in coaching, whether it's in everyday life, you've got to be 5 to 10 times better than your counterpart. If it's a white American, if it's an Asian American, whoever, you've got to be 5 to 10 times better to get. If there's 2 positions, 1 black person, 1 white person, you got to have, some outstanding, traits there to get that job. And here you are in your article, you talk about how Tomlin and Lewis, 2 of the longest tenured, I guess, black coaches out there, obviously, have to maintain and have the best type of decorum as those coaches. Like, once you get that position, you've got to be 5 to 10 times cleaner, if you will, than your counterparts to keep those jobs. And I got to ask you this, though. And although what we saw was on the field was pretty messed up, and some people may agree or disagree with whether the coaches had too much to do with it, the players obviously play a big part in it. But when we talk about just football and the sanctity of football and the rules of the game on and off the field, what's more egregious, though, how Mike and Marvin handled the game, or can somebody look at how Bill Belichick has been handling the Patriots with Spygate and Deflategate and all these cheating accusations? What do you think is more egregious?
Well, I think it's like saying, hey, there's rape and there's murder. They're both bad. They're both things that need to be policed.
Right.
And so as it relates to Belichick, though, what I will say is there's a ton of pushback on Belichick. They've had draft picks taken, fines levied, players suspended. The media routinely lights into Belichick, calls him Bill a cheat. Sean Payton has been shredded for the stuff that went on down in New Orleans with paying fines and bounties. So the media, we're very comfortable criticizing white coaches for the BS that they do in pursuit of victories. We're not comfortable criticizing Mike Tomlin. And as it relates,
why is that?
Again, I'll get back to that. I love Marvin Lewis. I'm just telling you, I really do. He's my favorite coach. Mm-hmm. But he has had a long-running problem from Chad Johnson to Pac-Man Jones with low character, hard to control guys that set a poor discipline standard in Cincinnati, and he's gotten away with it and been there for 13 years. And deservedly so, because, the guy produces victories, and he's gotten better. But I don't want to pretend like Mike Tomlin and Marvin Lewis are having to do 10 times as much as any of these other coaches, because as it relates to Mike Tomlin, man, this guy got put on coaching steroids. He 35 years old, he gets the best job in all of professional sports, in my opinion, and gets a young franchise quarterback. He was born on coaching third base.
Right.
That's the other reason why I'm holding him to a higher standard. He's been given all the tools. This is the dream job. They've had 3 coaches there. They're in their history, Noel, Cowher, and Tomlin. So he's been given a lot, and so we have a right to expect a lot more than what we're getting from him.
Well, Jason, you mentioned that the NFL desires a game that is marketed as family-friendly, and, it isn't the the UFC or boxing or whatever. But I don't know if you've been out there. You're on the West Side, so I don't know if you went to a Raiders 49ers preseason game at any point recently, to the point where they had to stop them. But this is a violent game, a very violent game. I know they want to clean it up. I go back to the movie Concussion and stuff, and there's so much dollars at stake. How clean can they make football, though? I thought it was a throwback game, but it's
be honest,
borderline, man.
Jason, this guy right here that's talking to you, he loves those type of games.
I like violence.
He does, yeah.
I like violence. I've just fallen in love with the National Hockey League.
Listen. I played the game, and I get it. I've been in a bench clearing brawl as a college football player. Mm-hmm. I get it. But again, this is a business decision the NFL is making, trying to put a facade of respect and sportsmanship and a lessening of the violence. They're trying to conduct business here. It's a television show. That's what football is, a television show. Yep. It's manipulated like any other television show. And the employees who are making a lot of money need to cooperate with the television show they're trying to put on. Again, it'll be very easy for people to put football in the boxing lane. America has never been comfortable with football as the national pastime. It wants baseball to be that. And so it has ascended to a place that America has never been comfortable with, and now with the concern about safeties and concussions and all that, they're in a position where they're going to get knocked off their pedestal if they're not careful. That's what the NFL is trying to avoid. It's in the best interest of the players if they want to make as much money as possible, and the coaches if they want to make as much money as possible, not to allow that to happen.
Let me ask you a question that's kind of off topic a little bit. We're talking about the violence associated with the game. You mentioned the Malice at the Palace. Ed and I just went to a Florida Panthers hockey game. I don't know if you, but we got the hottest team in the league right now down here.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
They had a 13-game winning streak.
They
just
lost.
lost.
They just lost, yeah. But they're in first place, and they're doing pretty good. But I don't quite get the non-criticism of NHL hockey when it comes to violence. When you look at the NBA, there is, a lot of, I guess a microscope on it ever since the Malice at the Palace. And then this article comes out that you wrote in regards to how the NFL is trying to get away from that type of an element. Yet the NHL sells it, and nobody calls them thugs, or nobody focuses on the violence in hockey. There was a fight
where
after
the fights are sanctioned.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a fight after the
game
game last night. Like, what's the difference, Jason?
Now, let's keep it 100 here. This is three black dudes on a podcast talking hockey. And so,
I'm just
how
saying.
deep in the weeds are we on what's really going on in hockey and what's being discussed and blah, blah, we're speculating. Right. And so,
but my
the
point
other
is
thing
this.
is, my other point is this. Biggie never lied when he said, more money, more problems.
Right.
Hockey doesn't come close to generating the interest or the money that the NFL does. So, of course, the NFL is going to be held to a different standard. No one is trying to get the money, the violence out of boxing and the brutality out of boxing, because no one cares. The boxing has been diminished and discarded, and it's put off to the side. And Floyd Mayweather made some money, but boxing isn't near what it used to be. It used to be baseball and boxing in this country. Mm-hmm. But boxing so far down the totem pole, no one cares what those guys do to themselves. Hockey, so far down the totem pole, those of us in America, we don't care what they do. And so when you make the most money, again, a state senator doesn't get near as much criticism as the president of the United States. And that's the difference. Hockey's a state senator. The NFL is the president of the United States.
Okay, so this is not a race thing. This is not that, if they were more black players in the NHL and all of the violence was associated with it, they wouldn't be called thugs or whatever. So whenever we see incidents in the NBA, like the Malice at the Palace, I'm just asking. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't even speculate on what they call guys in hockey. I think they call them goons.
Yeah,
goons. Yeah,
and
goons.
That's the equivalent of thugs. And so they do use those words, and they do disparage players that are just goons and blah blah blah. It's been a long time. I used to live in Ann Arbor and used to pay a whole lot of attention to the Detroit Red Wings. But I just think we have fallen in love in America with the false equivalency. And I just think this is a false equivalency, because I think the people that do follow hockey and follow it intensely, all the same words, they may be different. Maybe it's not thug, maybe it's goon, whatever. But the guys that just beat up people and do dumb stuff in hockey, they get ripped and they get fined and kicked out of the league. They had a guy in Detroit, Bob Probert, called him all, he was an idiot.
Mm-hmm. And then hockey doesn't have the stigma of the concussions either. I mean, you just said it. More money, more problems. Oh, and then folks are committing suicide and having problems later in age after they finish playing your game?
I tend to think those same issues are in hockey. It's just no one cares.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know some guys who miss a few teeth here and there, but I haven't heard them.
I guarantee you they got CTE problems and all that in hockey, but it's just no one cares. It's not the national pastime. That's a Canadian sport.
Okay. So basically, And I just wanted to compare the two because I thought that was an
it's
interesting
great conversation because these are the discussions that people are having at home, and it's nice to throw it out there and bat it around, push it around, and see where we land.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned again back to the article about Tomlin and Marvin Lewis. When you look at the microscope, I guess that's on them because you're saying these guys need to pretty much do better. It's like Ed and I, when we got on radio, we got all kinds of calls and kudos from people locally, and we were like, geez, we're just a couple of guys on the radio, but it meant so much to a lot of people. And you're saying that how Lewis and Tomlin conduct themselves would mean a lot to future NFL head coaches. Is that fair that they have to be on such a microscope, or that they have to toe such a fine line when maybe an Adam Gase or who's the other hotshot assistant, whoever's out there?
Listen, I don't think we're asking them to go above and beyond. There's no same demands on other coaches. Again, that AFC North football they're playing, because this was very predictable. There was a reason they had guards on the field before the game. Everybody knew this was coming. And so you can point to other coaches and other teams. The expectations aren't there. Like, oh, when these two teams play, we better get extra guards and security on the field, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm not asking them to go above and beyond. I'm asking them to do their job and take on the responsibility. They're making a lot of money. And particularly for Tomlin, he's the face of a historic franchise. And he has such a great opportunity to create other opportunities for other people if he handles his business. And I just don't think we're asking that much. Calm yourself down, calm your sisters down, figure out a way to get the emotion and the energy out of them without crossing the lines. And their teams, particularly when they play each other, it just can't just be a coincidence. There's 3 or 4 black head coaches, and it just so happens the two teams that hate each other the most and can't control their emotions and try to kill each other happen to be the coaches led by black teams.
It's like a Martin Luther King Boulevard in every city in America.
Yeah.
It just happens to be the
Why is that?
In the black neighborhood,
Yeah.
Jason Whitlock joining us here. Remember to check him out. The website is j.school. Go ahead, Jeff.
One more thing, Jay. I almost lost my chain of thought right there, but the Rooney Rule and all of that, when we look at the microscope that's on these guys, and we're looking at the fact there's only a few African-American head coaches in this league, and then we see Hugh Jackson, who I thought was the hottest assistant out there, and then he gets the worst NFL job. If I were to ask you, in your opinion, is the Rooney Rule working, or do they have to remix it sort of and come up with another type of a way that these guys are going to get a fair shot, and when they do get that shot, they'll be given adequate time, as the counterparts are, to have success?
What the history of the world teaches us is you have to create opportunities. They're rarely given. And so that's why, and look, the Rooney Rule's fine. I'm glad they have it. I support it. But the better way for black coaches is for Mike Tomlin and Marvin Lewis and Hugh Jackson to do their jobs at the highest level. Look, John Thompson does not get near the credit. This is what just enrages me about, we love talking about the Fab Five, and they represent that era of college basketball. So bogus. So bogus. John Thompson created something with his own hands at Georgetown University, Hoya Paranoia, carried him to a national championship, took care of Patrick Ewing, Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, Allen Iverson. Dude built something strong and black and powerful in Washington, D.C. And if you go look at college basketball, damn near every black coach that's ever gotten a job in college basketball can thank John Thompson for it. And the man don't get the credit he deserves for that. There was no black coaches. John Thompson did his thing at Georgetown, and all of a sudden they started popping up everywhere. Oh, Arkansas got Nolan Richardson. And, again, do your job. Handle your business. Represent the guy. Again, John Thompson, it's hard for me to ever say anything bad about John Thompson because he's a creator. And he was part of a bigger mission than just himself.
That's a great point. So basically, what these African-American head coaches must do is win. And win. I mean, and not
that's obvious.
Is win. But I mean that goes for everybody in the NFL. But I just don't think that we're playing on a level playing field, Jason. I don't know if we ever will be playing on a level playing field.
I'm not suggesting we're playing on a level playing field. I'm asking you to go through the history of the world and show me where the playing field has ever been level.
Right. Yeah, I got you.
Through the history of the world. And I'm not just talking about for black people. Unfairness is a fact of life in America. If you believe in the Bible and believe the teaching of the Bible, ever since Eve gave Adam the apple, unfairness was set loose in the world. And so it's unfair to everybody.
Go ahead. Finish.
And so if there is no utopia, and so we can sit and, oh my God, I wish things were in China. Where is that where the playing field is level? Let's move over there.
Small island in the Pacific that nobody's discovered yet.
With that being said, does Lovie Smith get another shot? Because there was outrage on social media when he was let go by Tampa Bay. It seems that despite the 8-24 record, he's well respected around the National Football League.
And seemed to be on his way to something.
Let me tell you where you didn't see any outrage. You know, social media, to me, is a joke and a false read of what's important.
Mm-hmm.
Until I hear something from Jameis Winston, I'm not tripping off of Lovie because, trust me, if Jameis Winston was like, hey, look, don't fire this coach, he'd be the coach.
Wow.
You have a very good point. And I thought about that. I was like, I saw some Tampa Bay players speaking out, and I didn't know if it was just because he's the quarterback, he's the face, quote unquote, of the franchise. He's young, or
the All-Pro
linebacker
spoke about.
Yeah, what's going on here? What's
Look, the offensive coordinator was about to get a job, and to me, clearly, somebody talked to Jameis. It was like, why was the season so good? You know, Bob, can we really let this offensive coordinator go?
Right.
And he's like, hell no.
Wow.
Interesting stuff there. Jason Whitlock joining us here at the Freeman and Fox podcast. Our good buddy. You can find him online at j.school. It is his blog, all of his writings, and some guest writings as well. You can also catch him on Fox Sports 1. You're ready for this weekend of football. Real quickly, who do you like?
Man, I'm on pins and needles right now thinking about Cam and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
I'm just on pins and needles. It's and I don't know what's going to happen. I didn't like the way Seattle played, but I think that's the cold, and so we could see something special here because statistically, I think Russell Wilson, was the best quarterback, but based on quarterback rating and whatnot, and then we know with our own two eyes, Cam was the best quarterback, and so we're about to see something we've never seen before. The two best quarterbacks are black, and they're about to go head-to-head in a playoff game. Mm-hmm. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you've got Roethlisberger and Manning going at it. That might be a sloppy game with, one quarterback that's, I guess, playing on half a leg and two ribs, and the other quarterback's just barely hanging on. Who do you like in that one?
I guess, man, that's a tough. I'm going to go with Denver's at home with a defense that's hellified. Maybe no Antonio Brown.
Maybe no Antonio Brown, right?
Yeah, so I like Denver.
All right. What's the other one? Arizona and Green Bay?
Arizona in a landslide. I think Bruce Arians, this is his time. He's getting the best out of Carson Palmer. Green Bay, they did all they could do last week. KC, New England.
New England. Yeah. That's
the first game of the weekend.
A tough one. I'm a Chiefs fan.
That's right.
11 straight victories.
Kansas City Star, baby.
11 straight victories, but it's hard for me to bet against Belichick.
Man,
there you have it.
He's the genius. He is Belichick.
I'm not going to pick any of them. It's a tough. Every one of those games, except possibly for the Arizona game, I think it's going to be really, really hard to pick.
Well, it's safe to say that this weekend's game should be a lot better than some of last weekend's games. So,
yeah.
That's
well, y'all know now that I'm free, you can call me anytime.
Yes, sir.
It's less of a hassle. So I'm always here for you.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. We appreciate the support.
We appreciate you, Jason Whitlock. We'll catch up with you again real soon.
Thank you.
And that was Jason Whitlock on with us here on the Freeman and Fox podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Look out for the podcast. One coming at you early next week, right after all of the divisional playoff games this coming weekend. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what else the Dolphins have got going on. And we'll slowly get into some more Heat talk, too, because
we're going to find Mike Wallace. We're looking for you, Mike Wallace.
Basketball is steadily getting hotter, getting towards midseason for those guys. So things will be turning around and getting more active here real soon. All right, thank you all for listening. Don't forget, follow us on Twitter at The Sports Bros, Facebook at The Sports Brothers as well.
All right, that's how you catch up with The Sports Brothers.
Talk to you later. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Freeman and Fox podcast. Be on the lookout for the next episode coming soon. And make sure to follow us on Twitter at The Sports Bros.